What's up, everyone? It's Anna, also known as That Star Wars Girl, and today I am going to be talking about Star Wars Resistance again. I only have a couple more episodes, and then I'm free for the season. But I do want to acknowledge the fact that I am not in my usual setting. I am actually in Chicago for Star Wars Celebration. This is my first time to the Midwest. This is my first time to Chicago. This is the farthest east I've ever been. So it's interesting to say the least. It's very cold and rainy outside, so if there's any thunder, I apologize. It's supposed to be, horrible thunderstorms for the next couple of days. So it said on the weather app that there's gonna be thunder, and yes, Jesse is sitting. It said it on my iPhone app. I can show you the screenshot. But Jesse's off to the side, so Jessie decided to leave the room because she didn't want to listen to how stupid this TV show was. And so Jesse's off watching her show. But anyway, I'm gonna talk about Star Wars Resistance. So, like I say in every single video, couldn't get any worse. There's no possible way that this show could get any stupider or any worse. And then it does. So, last episode left off with Kaz coming in, and guess who's there? The First Order. And as you guys know, I was saying, I'm so hopeful maybe Kaz will die. Maybe we will all get lucky and he will die and another character will take his place as the main character. I'm down for Yeager to be the main character. I'm down for Tam to be the main character because those two are the only ones that have shown any signs of intelligence, as well as Synara. Honestly, I take it back. Synara is the most interesting character that has been introduced in this show. If they made a show specifically about her, that would be great. They can feel, okay, here's a strong female woman. She's also an alien. So there you go. There's a great freaking character. But no, they're not going to do that. But anyway, let's get to this plot. So they're there. Guess what happens? Instead, they're like, oh, you know what? We're here because we saw your ship in the other episode when you went flying around with Poe and you got into fights with our other pilots. You don't think that they don't communicate with their mothership? That they don't say, hey, we ran into these two ships. We have visual confirmation of these ships. Let's send you images of these damn ships. For some reason, they didn't think to repaint their damn ship after having a run-in with the First Order, and they let people go. They let, Cherry, the Red Stormtrooper, escape. After he had already seen them, he knows what Poe's X-Wing looked like, because everybody knows what Poe's X-Wing looks like. And now they know theirs, which has, very identifying markings on it. It's bright freaking yellow, but whatever. They don't think about that, because remember, they don't think. So, and remember how, in every other episode, Kaz has proven he doesn't have a brain unless the writers need him to, for some reason, all of a sudden be smart for, a second for plot. So they did that. So all of a sudden, Tam is just like, oh, why are you guys here? And they're just like, we're here because your ship was seen in, a region of space that is off limits to anyone unless you're in the First Order. Your ship was out there. You attacked our ship. We're here to, take you into custody because you freaking attacked us. You went into our sector of space, which in their case makes freaking sense. They are following orders. If some ship came into my area of space, started shooting up my ships and my droids, yeah, they have every right to take them into custody. So that's what they're there to do. And instead of saying no, hey, guess what? This is a mechanic place. Maybe we were working on somebody else's ship, so we loan them our ship for the day because this is the one that we have that flies. Instead of saying something like that, because, the Greedo guy, the wannabe Greedo guy that was an ace pilot that escaped an episode ago, they could have just said that because his ship was on lockdown, or they were working on his ship, he took their ship and went and did that and blame it on him since he's already escaped. He's, a criminal in their mind. He's in hiding from the First Order. Instead of saying something like that, and Tam's like, Kaz, tell them it's not true. What does Kaz do? Oh, Tam, you don't understand. They have every right to do this. Basically confirming that he's a freaking spy. Instead of having a brain, instead of saying something logical, even someone like Yeager, no, they decide to do that. And then, so, guess what? They try to escape. Bucket, the droid, starts doing weird. He sets off mist. So, the stormtroopers are shooting. They're trying to run from them. Bucket, the little wannabe BB-8, fall. It's literally like Captain Phasma in The Last Jedi when she gets hurt and then she falls into the explosion, the exploded and fire and whatnot. Basically, that happens to the little droid. Tam gets taken because she just kind of sits there and just watches because she's in shock. Tam, we know, is usually the most intelligent character when it comes to situations like this, and she's always the one that's calling out Kaz for being an idiot. She's the one that's been suspicious, but now all of a sudden she's in complete shock that Kaz is, you know, exactly what she suspected the entire freaking time. But for some reason, she's in shock, can't do anything. Whatever, girl. And so, guess what? Instead of, you know, leaving, instead of doing any of the suggestions that I had just thought of as I was watching the show that I just stated, they run into Yeager's office, which we have seen before, does not have it has the one door, which they go in and out of, and then it has, you know, the little room that I'm assuming is his bedroom. So it's got his office, which is connected to his bedroom. There's no other doors that we've seen. When there was that one where the Draco Malfoy was trying to rob something out of Yeager's office, we saw that there was no other doors except for that one that leads into Yeager's bedroom, which there's no other doors from that one because that's the only way you can go in and out. There's a door there now. There's another door. So apparently Yeager has a door into his little mechanics bay, but apparently he has another door, which didn't exist before, that leads out to the rest of the barge. So they go out the door that leads out to the rest of the barge. Tam gets taken by the bad guys. They're going, and guess what? The bad guys are running after them. They fall through the floor. They fall through the floor. They're going in the thing, and then they say that they're resistance spies and whatnot. Then they get helped out by the Ninja Turtles. Guys, remember the Ninja Turtles that live under? They're like you think about Titanic, the people that are making the ship go. For some reason, the Ninja Turtles, that's what they do. So the Ninja Turtles take them. There's those kids, and they're like, oh, we need to help Tam. Yeah, well, we got to go and figure out how to get Tam back. While we cut over to Tam. So we cut over to Doza and Tora, and they're there, and they're just like, what's going on? We got Tam in custody, and they're going to question her. So then they introduce a new character. So this woman is supposed to be, you know, the interrogator. She's the one that's coming here to interrogate the spies. We get the Filipino chick that, I say she's Filipino, I'm not 100% sure on that, but she looks like my Filipino friend Crystal. So she looked like literally if Crystal was in Star Wars and cosplaying as a First Order trooper that wears black, that's what she would, this looks like a cartoon of her. So I'm gonna call her Filipino Stormtrooper chick. So Filipino Stormtrooper chick comes in and she's being nice. She's just like, all right, so why don't you tell me what happened, girl? Like, I'm gonna let you know right now, we're both girlfriends. We're gonna sit down, we're gonna have a nice talk. I'm gonna ask you about your friends, because apparently you don't know anything. We're gonna have girl time, we're gonna talk about this, and I'm gonna tell you that everything you actually thought about this person isn't true. And I'm gonna slowly manipulate you and convince you of the truth. And we know from Tam's character in every other episode that Tam has always been questioning Kaz, that she knows that there's something off about him, that she knows that there's things that they aren't telling her, that she's suspicious about, but she knows that they're good people and she has their back. But then she asks them behind closed doors, what the hell is going on? Why won't you tell me? Why won't you trust me? But now all of a sudden she's in complete shock. These people that she's been suspicious of in every other episode, all of a sudden she's like, wow, how could they do that? How are these not the people I thought they were? Again, no consistency in characters. So they're questioning her. Guess what? Kaz is talking with the Ninja Turtles, with those two little kids, with Yeager. He's like, hey guys, I got the great idea. We're on this barge over this ocean. All right. Let's sink the barge to the bottom of the ocean, even though, for some reason, remember that episode where Sonara left? Okay. For some reason, their escape pods are only at the bottom of the ocean. So, unlike other structures that are made to, you know, be, let's talk about a bridge or, you know, maybe those oil rigs that are above the ocean. Yeah, I guess more oil rigs would be more accurate to the situation. So the ones that are trying to drill the oil that's underneath the ocean, yeah, they have to go down there to get the stuff, but I'm pretty sure they don't have escape pods that are at the bottom of the fucking ocean, because you will drown unless you are an alien that is native to a water-like planet like Admiral Akbar. Admiral Akbar could survive because he can breathe underwater because that's part of his species. But no, a majority of these people on this damn barge are human for some reason. There are other aliens, but a majority of the people that they show in this show are humans that cannot survive underwater. Heck, even the aliens that they show in the show cannot survive underwater. Why the hell are there stupid escape pods? There's only one escape pod, excuse me. All the other ones, they can't use them. There's only one escape pod for this entire barge full of thousands of people, and it's at the bottom of the ship that nobody can get to, because it's literally like the big barge, and then it's on little things. And there's only one escape pod for some freaking reason, which makes absolutely no sense. Again, logic out the window, down the corner, around to infinity and beyond. That's the way the show works. Science, for some reason, they don't study it. So Kaz's idea is to sink the barge to the bottom of the ocean because they need to get a message to the Resistance so the Resistance can come help them because now the Resistance knows because they didn't use the excuse that I said at the beginning. So now they know that they are, the Resistance spies, even though Kaz has been there to try to find the First Order spy, which they've not mentioned. Not at all. Kaz has done nothing to find a Resistance, First Order spy. Kaz has become the spy that's trying to hide from everyone. That's the way the show has gone. So Kaz wants to sink the barge to the bottom of the ocean so that way the little beacon that's blocking everyone's communications, so it'll sink down, that one will be above water. They can swim from where they are at the bottom of like the barge, not the little spiky things, but where the engines are. They're gonna swim up to the beacon and deactivate it and send a message out to Princess Leia. Or General Leia. General Organa. That's what they're gonna do. Alright. That sounds pretty freaking stupid because why would you sink the barge? What kind of damage is that going to do the ship? And then get this. Not only is that going to damage the ship, not only is that stupid, how do they have, why, if you have a barge that's made to be on top of the ocean, why on earth would you invent the technology for it to sink and for it to come back up? I can understand having technology for it to come back up just in case something happens and it breaks. But why on earth is there just a lever that you can pull that has no security around it, that has no type of key or lock system? Literally, if any random person walked into engineering, went past the Ninja Turtles, and just pulled the two levers, the barge would sink. That does not make sense on any level, on any ship. That would not happen. There would be some kind of safety hazard security. Because what if a terrorist just went on the ship, was like, hey, I want to sink all this and let everyone drown. Let me just go pull these two levers and then the entire barge will sink. You don't need any kind of security clearance whatsoever. There's no security for it. Makes no freaking sense. Even when you need to put out a fire and there's like an axe or fire extinguisher, you got it. It's protected. Even that. Come on, and it's not that you can't get to it. You have to break the glass and then you can get the thing. None of that. You can just go pull a lever and the barge will sink. So what they need to do, need to get a message to Doza to tell Doza, hey, close the hatch doors so that way nobody drowns when we sink the barge to the bottom of the ocean. So guess what? Pink BB-8, the girl BB-8, pink girl BB-8, because girl droids can only be pink, goes, and then you see the black BB-8, the bad guy, the black BB-8 that works for the First Order, is carrying food on its head, even though we know this about the BB-8 droids. The ones that are for the First Order, they're black, and they have flat heads. Alright, so BB-8 and BB-8's girlfriend have round heads. They got round heads, it's kind of like half a circle. But, so, black BB-8 has a bowl on his head because he's delivering dinner. Because apparently they don't have droids for that. Which we know that they do. They have those type of droids that do, the food stuff. But for some reason, this high-tech droid that they use for, their navigation and their ships and for other stuff, for some reason, that droid decides to be a maid today or like a chef or whatever and bring food to someone. So Pink BB-8, for some reason, these BB-8 units are attracted to other droids, and all she has to do is go around the corner. If you ever see Hercules, the Disney Hercules, that little scene where Pegasus gets distracted by the girl Pegasus and he follows her around the corner. Literally, they ripped off that scene. And so Black BB-8 follows the girl around the corner. The girl BB-8, the Pegasus follows the girl Pegasus around the corner. We hear a noise. Girl BB-8 gets rid of black BB-8, boy BB-8, takes the little, for some reason, apparently she has arms, she's able to move the food, the soup, from his head onto her head, which is round, which Tao, for some reason, is flat, even though she's got antennas, maybe the antennas retract, but she's perfectly able to carry that on her head now. She goes past the Stormtrooper. Stormtrooper's like, oh, this isn't the BB-8 droid that I usually see. This isn't our BB-8 droid. This is a freaking pink BB-8. But all right. He's like, that doesn't look like dinner to me, or that doesn't look like food. That's what they call food, but that's not what I think is food. All right, yeah, go ahead, fine. So she goes into, the top secret ace pilot hangar place where Doza is. conveniently doesn't see anyone else. Conveniently, Doza and Tora are just walking. She tells... That was loud. There's a noise! Sorry about that, everyone. The hotel phone started ringing, and I answered it, and it was nothing. It's weird. Anyway, so Pink BB-8 runs into Doza and Tora, and is like, Kaz is gonna like sink everything, and Tora's like, oh, this sounds so fun! And we need you to close the blast doors. So then Pink BB-8 goes back to the Ninja Turtles, goes back to where Kaz is, shows a holographic message from Doza, and he's like, yo, this is a great idea. I'm gonna make sure the doors are closed for you. Even though he has the First Order breathing down his neck, which would know, hey, that's fucking suspicious. Why is it all of a sudden we're sinking and you just are conveniently closing the blast doors at the same time? Whatever. Logic out the window, around the corner to infinity and beyond. So, they start sinking the damn ship. The damn barge. They start sinking it. First Order people are like, what's going on? Why is the ship sinking? And this is when Filipino lady is interrogating Tam, and you know, she tells Tam, she's like, yeah, you think Kaz is poor. He's actually from Coruscant. He was in the Republic Navy, and then he dropped out. His dad, he's from one of the most richest families. His dad's in politics. Everything that he told you about him is a lie, which in a way kind of is, but I mean, I feel like if we have Facebook in our time, I feel like there's something where you can go and do a search, and she could have learned Kaz's last name and looked up that his dad is a freaking, you know, high up important person. She could have done that, but for some reason they don't. For whatever reason, apparently public records don't exist in this time period, which makes absolutely no sense considering everything that we learned about with the whole Jedi Order and how they have that library with all the records, but apparently that doesn't exist anymore. They don't have any records of public figures, which Kaz's father would be on, which he would be one of, but for some reason she didn't do any of her research on him, which is very out of character for a girl, because us girls, if we want to know something, we can find it out very easily. We are very good detectives. If we want to know something, we can find out. You can ask any girl, I guess. Something, I feel like all humans can do it, but I feel like at least that's something that I know is unanimous between me, my sisters, my mom, all of my friends. That's just something that we do. That's a trait. And they even have memes about it on Facebook where it's like, oh, you know, can't remember what we had for dinner, but they can remember something you said like 8 years ago. Very true. Very true. Girls are really good about that kind of stuff. She could have found it out. If she wanted to know about why Kaz is being like shady, she could have figured it out. But anyway, again, logic out the window, around the corner. So Filipino chick sees that the thing is sinking. So she's like, oh, okay, I gotta go back. Like, let me figure this out. Takes off on Tam, leaves her with a little, like, pad that has all of Kaz's info. So she goes up, she's like, what the heck is going on? Why are we sinking? And then Doza's like, oh, I gotta shut all the doors. And then it's like the scene of, like, the whole thing sinking and how they have to shut the doors before the water gets in so nobody drowns. So then as it's sinking, Kaz and Yeager, they put on their little masks, they jump into the water. Pink BB-8 for some reason doesn't sink, but she propels, so they hold on to her, and she swims for them. And so she takes them up to the top of the barge, and they get up there, and there's like this little beacon that is apparently blocking everyone's communications. So they are Kaz is trying to do something to turn it off, and Yeager literally just pulls a chip out and it breaks, and then Kaz uses the Pink BB-8 to send a message out to Princess Leia. And he's telling her, like, yo, First Order's here, they know that I'm a spy, we're under lockdown, we had to sink this barge to get a message out to you, we need your help, come, like, save us now, or he should just say, send Poe to come get me out of this situation, but instead he's just like, yo, we're under attack, and yeah, First Order, they're here, they're taking care of business, they know, like, that stuff's going down. Stormtroopers Goldie, Filipino chick, are looking at Doza, and they're like, why is our communication beacon that takes out everything not working anymore? Doza's like, oh, it's probably water damage. They easily look outside the window, and they're like, it's not underwater, bro, because we would be underwater. We're on, like, the top little thing of this barge. It's not underwater, you're lying. Stormtroopers come, they start shooting. Yeager pushes Kaz into the water and then tells the Pink BB-8 take care of him. Instead of jumping in the water too, Yeager gets taken. Yeager gets taken by them. This phone. I'm sorry, I do not know what is going on with this phone, but this phone keeps ringing and it's kind of worrying me. I've watched too many movies about horror movies about this kind of thing. So if I die, I'm sorry, and it's sad to know that this was the last thing I've seen. that would be a horrible way. Like, you're in a hotel, the last thing you watched was an episode of Star Wars Resistance, and then like some crazy killer murders you in a hotel after like you get the signs from your phone ringing randomly, and then when you answer it, nobody's there. So yeah, knock on wood, I didn't die. So end of the episode, Yeager gets taken. Kaz goes back down and he sees the kids and he's just like, okay, yeah, Yeager got taken, and Nico's freaking out because where the heck is Yeager? Oh, he got taken, what are we gonna do? Tan doesn't trust them, Barge is still underwater, Doza's gonna fix it, he's gonna get it out from underwater. Then, but guess what? Leia was able to send them a message. Leia says, hey, guess what? We don't have any ships for you. Nobody's coming. But guess what? There's other people around the galaxy like you that are fighting this oppression. We can't send anyone to you, so you're just kind of have to sit there and suffer, basically. I can't help you. That is the way they decide to portray Princess Leia. And then, guess what? Cuts over to the pirates. You know the pirates that got Sonar out of there, that the First Order double-crossed them? Guess what? They intercepted the message, and it shows them listening to like what Kaz says, and then you get this look in the eyes, so Sonar is probably going to come and save them. That was the episode. Now, there's one more episode that I think they split up into 2 parts, so I'm going to do 2 different videos on that, but that is what we have to look forward to. So everyone, I apologize for the interruptions in this. Again, knock on wood, I don't die, there's not some like psycho out in this hotel that's gonna murder me and Jesse. But so yeah, that was this episode of Star Wars Resistance. I'm gonna try to get the rest of this done before Celebration. So everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you liked this video, liked my commentary on this, my breakdown of this episode, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, that's okay too. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click that little bell. That way you get notifications when I do other videos and live streams, because people tend to like those. I'm here at Star Wars Celebration. Jeff is here from WorldClassBullShitters. Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Jesse Milestone is here as well. Ethan Van Skyver from Commissar's Pro Secrets is going to be here as well. So we might all do live streams together, and if you want to make sure that you're here to catch that when it's live, make sure you click that little bell, everyone. And until then, everyone, have a great rest of your day. Sorry, now my actual phone started ringing. So everyone, have a great rest of your day, and may the Force be with you, because we are really, really, really going to need it. Bye.